I would like to present today our research paper about technology mapping, and it will cover definition, types and application. It will be presented by myself, Engineer Alya, and my colleague Engineer Yumna from University of Sharjah. The outline of the presentation will be as shown. Introduction, research objective, methodology, literature review, which will cover technology mapping development, and the types. Then we'll introduce some applications, results, and finally conclusion and our references. Starting with the introduction, technology is the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes, especially in industry. Technology management is a set of management disciplines that allows organizations to manage their technological fundamentals to create competitive advantage, while technology mapping is one of the effective tools that visualize and communicate required messages to company management regarding current patterns of technology. The research objective will be as shown: to understand how technology mapping has been developed, to identify technology mapping, and to identify the types and applications of technology mapping. The methodology of this research was based on the forementioned points, which are a search for publication on Google Scholar and Science Direct database by using the search term technology management mapping and road mapping. Then the paper's abstract will be reviewed to select the paper on the scope of current research, which are technology mapping. Then selected paper that cover the research concept will be reviewed. After that, the analysis, limitation, and conclusion and the future of technology mapping will be conducted based on the literature review result. So we'll start by defining the technology mapping. The technology mapping basically it's a concept that combines innovation and communication in the technology management fields. The roots of roadmaps started in the early 1970s. It provides a way for companies to explore the future and track the performance of individuals. In addition to that, it's used to support strategic decisions and long-range planning. The goals of technology mapping is to support the development and implementation of integrated strategic business, product, and technology plans. Okay, so the technology mapping development is basically was developed by Motorola considering the period from 2000 to 2013. It went into three different phases, which are the first generation, which focused on the product technology mapping. The second generation is the one focusing on emerging technology mapping, while the third generation is the one that puts and emphasizes on the innovation roadmaps.
Technology mapping is divided into three forms which are based on purpose, based on format, and based on use. Starting by based on purpose, it's a time-based chart which mostly includes commercial and technological perspectives along with the linkage of any other related perspectives. It shows technology forecasting, foresight futures, Delphi, and scenario plannings. Basically, we have eight types based on purpose. The first one is product planning, which relates technology to product development. The second one is service or capability planning, which focuses on how technology supports organizational capabilities. The third one is strategic planning, which examines both opportunities and threats and work on a vision of the future. Then we have long range planning, knowledge asset planning, which works on aligning knowledge assets and knowledge management initiatives with business objectives. Then we have program planning, which is related to implementation of strategy and to project planning. Then we have process planning, which supports the management of knowledge while concentrating on a certain process area. And finally, we have integration planning, which focuses on integration and evolution of technology in the aspect of how different technologies combine with product and systems. So the second form is based on format. And based on format, we have eight methods, which is multiple layers, bars, table, single layer, graph, text, pictures, and flow. Moving on to based on use, basically it's the relationship between technology mapping and project portfolio management, especially in the initial development of a project. So I'm going to talk now about the technology mapping applications. The first application that I'm talking about is sustainable new product development decisions. Basically, it explains how supply chain management could be used by combining it with the IT results in technology mapping tool, which helps the top management to take decisions on new product development. Basically, it identifies the technologies for both current and planned product as well as showing the accepted technology developments along with the required elements to plan for a successful new product development. In this slide, I will be talking about the second application, which is the fuel cell subtechnologies identification. So the study of fuel cell subtechnologies identification discussed the characteristics of four methods of technology identification. Those four methods are value chain technologies, process-based approach, quality function deployment, and technology mapping, in order to identify the most appropriate method to be used for the project. So basically you can see the figure. The figure represents a comparison of the four methods of technology identification, and the study concluded that the technology mapping is the most appropriate method for this project.
The third application is the foresight studies, which basically depends on four phases, which are concept, collection of knowledge, visualization and presentation of knowledge, conclusion. The concept is basically about recognition and identification of the characteristics and data gathering tools. The collection of knowledge is about gathering and identifying all data that has been selected in the concept phase. Visualization and the presentation of the knowledge is about the preparation of technology cards, maps, and comparative visualization. Finally, conclusion is about information gathered and it was prepared for analysis. Moving to the results, there are many forms and types of technology mapping, and the right one should be chosen. The planning phase is important for customizing the roadmap and technology mapping process. The literature review emphasized that the communication which occurs during the creation of the roadmaps is considered more important than creating the roadmap itself. In addition to the mentioned result, it's also important to keep the roadmap alive. Once the first roadmap is developed, it may be desirable to facilitate the adoption of the method in other parts of the organization. It's also necessary to keep the software updated regularly. To conclude, technology mapping provides great potential for supporting the development and implementation of integrated strategic business product, technology plans, long-term plans, and future forecasting. This is our references. Thank you for listening.